Okay, so now I've got my the body of the vertebra. It's divided into an original, if you will, and an instance. I'll select this face, and I want to build the arch and the what would that be? The pedicle and the lamina. So from the top view, I'll select Edit Mesh with that face selected, Extrude. Let's go to so you can see. All right, so now I'll extrude that face to about the base, what I perceive as the base of that transverse process. And then I'll hit the letter G or say Edit Mesh, extrude again, and immediately I'll click on the rotate icon and rotate only in the orthographic view. Try to get a plane that's perpendicular to the base of that. Again, that transverse process. And then I'm going to extrude one more time. Again, rotate. And this time I'm trying to get a line that's parallel. Hold down the X so I snap. Oops. I'll grab the X so I snap to the grid and snap right to there. And you get something of an arch here. Now, one thing you want to be careful when you do this mirroring with the, anticipating you're going to go back together, you can see it's not really quite perfect. Part of the problem is my face isn't really perfectly parallel. And I don't think I have anything over here that would give me good information, maybe. No, that's not going to work. So I'll just eyeball it. And hold down the X and see if I can't get it to snap. There we go. So when you look at the way that arch forms, you see it's a little big there. Now generally it's a bad idea to do too much editing on the seam or where these two things meet. So I'm just going to pick edge rather. And from the top view, I'll just drag. And I don't necessarily want to do anything more than just scale these a little smaller. And then maybe move them up just a little bit. Again, just to give me closer approximation of that shape. Now I've got, let's go back to the forward panel view for a second. Now from the side I can see where the transverse process, where its root again is. So I've got this canal, this opening here where the spinal rootlets come out. Basically where the intervertebral foramen needs to be created. So I'll go up under Mesh Tools, say Insert Edge Loop, and create an edge that represents the ceiling of that foramen, or if you will, the base of the transverse process. And then I'll say Face, drag a box, hit delete, and now what I have is my foramen, but it's got holes in it, the walls, where I deleted that face. So I'll use the Append to Polygon tool and select this edge. Notice I get the purple arrows, and I'll select the opposite edge. Say Return. Now when you use the Append to Polygon tool, you want to make sure you're only using it for one edge. In other words, if there had been another edge here, let's say that had been a smaller face, and I had deleted this and gotten two If there's an edge here, you only want to go up as high as that edge, even though the software will let you go higher. Otherwise, you'll end up with vertices. So let's try that again. Software usually works best if it sees clear boundaries. So that's why I skipped the top until I had the two vertical walls built. Okay, so now we have the vertebral foramen. Go back to our top drawing again. And we'll grab that face. And I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. I'm going to now extrude it. Bring it all the way out to the end. Left mouse, drag. Make some divisions. And now I kind of have the base here. Now I'm avoiding this spinous process because that's an asymmetrical element. It's a unique element. There's only one of them. And I don't want to try to create that when I have an instance and an original. I want to make sure I have those things put together before I do that. I could, would make sense, since again this is a symmetrical element. Let's go and change this orthographic to our side. The superior articulating surface. So I'll use the extrude, raise that up till about to the correct height, then grab an edge on the top here and essentially slide that down. I don't want to obliterate this little face down here because I want to make sure I keep 4 faces. Okay. And I don't think it will look natural if I literally merge that right to there. I want to have a little plane to suggest the separation between that. This is the surface that will be sliding, so I can leave that straight. And I think what I can do, come down below, and again use the extrude tool. This time extrude straight down. Now it's a little bit awkward, if you will, that shape for the when I'm trying to create this inferior articulating surface. I might be able to move that forward a little bit and maybe rotate it so that it does begin to resemble a little more that general shape. Okay, I think I pushed it a little too far forward. I don't want to make it go inside another. And this edge here, what I would do is grab that vertex, pull it out a little bit, and then grab the vertex above and maybe put that in. So I'm getting closer to the actual natural shape that we have. All right. Again, I'm going to avoid that spine. I could go back to the top. Sorry. And shape a little more this process, the transverse process. Now my orientation here for the scale tool is world. I'm going to change that by double clicking on the scale tool and say I said object right now. And what happens if I say component? Okay, so when I say component, it now orientates itself a little more to where I'd like it to be, perpendicular to the long axis, if you will, of that transverse process. Okay, now again, I defaulted to world, so I'll go back to component. Now what I want to do now is save this file, because I'm going to crash if I don't. And I also want to, I notice I'm building up a lot of history, so I'm going to grab the file and delete by type its history. Now I want to make sure when I do that, that didn't affect the fact that that's an instance. Nope, see, so I'm still able to move things. So that's roughly where we want to get to. Stop here.